If you were a young adult or older in the 80s and 90s, you might remember the Satanic Panic. Did it ever end? Brandon Wills brings us the story. Brandon suggests to fully enjoy this, listen to the song The Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. Not because you have to, but because it's a fantastic song and it does pertain to said events, and also because you should use any excuse to listen to Iron Maiden. Anyone alive in the 80s and 90s remembers the era when the devil was everywhere. Look at the red eyes in our pictures from then. I'm kidding, sort of. Back then, certain groups of people deemed anything they didn't agree with as an affiliation of Satanism or an attempt to convert their innocent children to join their black masses. Every aspect of our culture was affected – television, music, movies, video games, and Dungeons & Dragons. There are still people today who deem these things as works of the devil himself. You're probably wondering when this started and if it still exists today. This article will briefly examine what started this phenomena and how it still resonates today. For as long as there have been civilizations and religions, people have labeled evil to things they disagree with. This can even be found in the clay tablets written in cuneiform by the Sumerians and the cultures contained within. If you jump forward in history, there were literal witch trials held across Europe and even in America to blame witches for bad turns of events. They can be blamed for bad crop seasons, weather, and random animal deaths. The Black Plague period also saw witches being blamed for the incredibly deadly bubonic plague, but they also blamed the Hebrew peoples living within Europe, leading to the early Holocausts. Luckily, things didn't get that bad during the Satanic Panic. Or did they? In June of 1993, one of the most infamous criminal cases of the decade happened. The West Memphis Three would live in infamy after DNA evidence freed the three men in 2011, as all three had their sentences commuted. During the original trial, they were accused of murdering the children as part of a satanic ritual. One witness even claimed to witness said ritual and that the Satanists spoke Spanish. The rest of their testimony was deemed dubious because other factors were proven to be untrue. The prosecutors even went so far as to bring in an expert on the occult from the unaccredited Columbia Park University to testify how a ritual could have been the reason. This case is largely said to have signaled the rebirth of the Satanic Panic in the 90s. Other tragedies like the Columbine High School massacre were also tied to Satanism. One motivation for the shooters was blamed on their fascination with heavy metal music and the occult. Marilyn Manson was repeatedly mentioned as their main influence. Manson eventually decided to postpone their tour to honor the victims and later issued a statement in Rolling Stone magazine regarding the scapegoat tactics of the media. Everything from video games to books and music were attributed to Satan and his little evil minions plotting to take over the world. I could write a book on other examples from that period, but let's jump to the current day. One of the most recent popular conspiracy theories states that government officials are working in a satanic cabal to murder babies for a hormone called adrenochrome. This theory is rooted in the old racist claims from the bubonic plague times that Jewish people were Satanists and wanted to kill children for their rituals to take over the world. These old horrific ideals live on today and encompass new facades to share the same truths. Deem your enemies as workers of Satan and everyone will hate them. It seems that every few months it evolves into something else that is baseless and completely illogical. I don't care if I upset anyone with this. How can we stop this? Is it possible to even stop it? Will it ever stop? The real answer is that only time will tell. Education, tolerance, and working toward eliminating these old racist ideologies are how we will truly overcome the Satanic Panic.